I often see people saying that Shadow the Hedgehog is 50 years old within the mainline games. When we are introduced to him in Sonic Adventure 2, we learn that he was kept in stasis for over 50 years after the death of Maria Robotnik and the capturing of Dr. Gerald Robotnik. And when you apply the rules of stasis and cryo-sleep from movies like Aliens, you'll realise that Shadow the Hedgehog may not be 50 years old after all. After 50 years of stasis, Shadow the Hedgehog is awoken from his 5-decade-long nap. People assume that Shadow is 50 years old because that's how long he spent in stasis, but when we take the laws of stasis from the opening of Aliens, we learn that the occupants of a cryopod don't age at all whilst they are essentially in suspended animation, because they're in suspended animation. The body doesn't grow older because inside the sleep pod, time is pretty much stopped. And to time travelers such as Silver the Hedgehog, time being stopped must be a really fucking scary concept. Anyway, obviously, the laws of the Aliens franchise don't apply to the Sonic franchise because they're two separate franchises. But personally to me, I feel like it's a good way to explain why he looks the same as he does when he was first put into cryostasis 50 years prior to the events of Sonic Adventure 2. One of the reasons I personally believe people think Shadow is 50 years old is because they are referring to the age of Shadow's body. In some way, Shadow's body is technically 50 years old, but at the same time, the age of his body does not apply to his physical age, because his body hasn't changed at all due to being in the state of suspended animation, hence why he still looks 15 years old when he's released in Sonic Adventure 2. That also creates a bit of a problem within the plot, because if Shadow was placed into stasis at the age of 15, if he spent 50 years in stasis, he would be 65 years old instead after he's been released by Eggman. But to be entirely honest, that really only applies if we assume Shadow was 15 when he was placed into stasis, which majority of the fandom choose to believe he's 15 or 16, so he's either 65 or 66, whatever. At least he isn't 69 years old. Jesus Christ. What will Twitter think of next? Shadow's canon age is definitely something left to be interpreted by the fanbase. It's really up to you whether you choose to see Shadow as an edgy 15-year-old or a senile 50 to 65-year-old man who is bordering on the ages of retirement. Seriously man, why did Gunn keep him on contract if he's frail? Surely it can't pay as well as Torchwood does. It's not really clear how old Shadow is, as far as I'm concerned, there's no written answer. But today's video is simply just a what if scenario of what if the laws of space from the Alien franchise applied to the Sonic universe. Personally, to me it makes sense to keep the idea of stasis and cryo-sleep consistent with how it's been used to explain aging in space in other media. But I want to know, what do you think? What do you interpret Shadow's age to be? Do you think the laws of stasis from the Alien movies should apply to the Sonic the Hedgehog series? Or do you think it should have its own separate way of explaining aging within space? Let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future Sonic content on this channel. Also be sure to check out my Ko-fi page. I'm doing Sonic character 3D render commissions and your support would be greatly appreciated. And also be sure to hit up the community Discord server where we can further the discussion regarding the blue speed mouse and his other rodent friends. And as always, keep on speeding and have an absolutely fantastic day.